Hi everyone! Today we're looking at possibly the only colour swatch book you will ever need. This is the Big Book of Colour Charts and it has room for pretty much every brand of coloured pencil and pen that you can think of, and if you have other brands there's plenty of room in this book as well for you to chart those, so possibly this will be the only book you ever need to swatch all of your coloured pencils and pens. It's by RubyCharmColors and it's quite a thick, substantial book. You'd be surprised by the weight of it when you get it. There's just so much room for so many brands inside. And also I have a spare copy here, which I'll be giving away to one of you at the end of the video, so stay tuned. So let's have a look at it then. It is an Amazon published book and it's really, really thick. I did mention, let me get a ruler. It's over 1/2 inch thick, so it's really, really thick and weighty. There's so many pages inside, so many different brands. So without further ado, let's have a look. So throughout the book, there are scattered some colouring pages for you to colour in with your different brands. You can see here we've got the rabbit from the front, and then we have a couple of giraffes here with some patterns on them. And then we get straight into the brands themselves. So you can see here we've got a contents page. It's split into coloured pencils, pastel pencils, ink, watercolour pencils, markers, and then blank charts by colour. And there's a load more blank charts as well at the back. So let's start off with the coloured pencils. We've got Artesa's, Black Widows, Blick Studio, Brunziel, I think that's how you say it. Luminance, Pablo, Castle Arts, Chameleon, Derwent, Holbein, Marco Raffine, and all of those. We've got pastel pencils, Caran d'Ache, Derwent, Faber-Castell, Kohinoor, and Stabilo Carbothello. Then for the inks, there's also PH Martin's Bombay India ink and Tim Holtz Distress inks. Watercolour pencils, Artesa's, Brunziel, Caran d'Ache Museum, Neocolour, and Supracolour, Derwent Graphtint, Inktense, Watercolour, and Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer. For the markers, we have Artesa Real Brush Pens, Copic markers, Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pens, Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers, and Tombow Dual Brush Pens. And then the blank charts are obviously by colour. So here's the blank chart index where you can put your own brand and what page it's on, what number. And then we have an introduction here from RubyCharmColors. So it says, welcome to the Big Book of Charts. This book was designed with colouring book enthusiasts in mind. However, it can be useful for anyone who wishes to have all of their favourite coloured pencils, pastel pencils, inks, watercolour pencils and markers organised and charted in one handy place. So I'm just going to go through this really quickly, skim through it. It says you can use the charts to keep track of which colours you have and which ones you want or need. Helpful if you buy open stock pencils, just a few at a time. There's also a few black pages for you to swatch out your lightest colours because they don't always show up very well on white paper. So it's nice to have colour swatches on a black background for a change. So it says, following the section of pre-labelled charts is a selection of charts organised by colour, so you can chart all your reds on one page or your oranges on another, etc. This is helpful when you're looking for the perfect hue regardless of brand. Then following those charts are the blank ones. The pages include numbers either sequentially by the swatches themselves or a total at the top of the page to help you decide which ones work best. So I'll show you that a bit later. It's saying that the watercolour and the marker pages have black backing pages to help prevent bleed through, but please note water can cause most traditional book papers to buckle. It says this paper is fairly tough, but it's thinner than watercolour paper. It is the Amazon CreateSpace paper, so I wouldn't recommend using much water on it if you can help it. But you can iron them flat once they're dry with a very low heat iron. So she does say here that when you're charting, she recommends inserting a piece of cardstock or plastic under the page you're working on to protect the pages underneath from colours bleeding through. I should have read this. I'm one of those people that just skips through all of these pages at the start and gets cracking. I should have read this because that exact thing happened to me, and I'll show you in a sec. So there we go. There's the introduction from Susan behind RubyCharmColors. Then we have a basic colour theory wheel. So we've got orange, red, yellow, green, blue and violet, and then the in-between colours, red, violet, blue, green, and you can swatch out all of your colours here and create your own colour chart. It says here you've got your primary colours, secondary colours and tertiary colours, warm and cool, Adding white to a colour changes the tint, adding grey changes the tone, adding black changes the shade. So it's really nice actually that she's included this colour theory in here, because it's something that you can kind of, you think you know, but then you forget, and you come to a colouring page and you think, how am I going to make this pop? What are the rules? What do I have to do? And it's all here for you within your swatch book, so you can quickly refer back to it. Here we have a quick notes page that you can make maybe a few colour combos or notes about the colour theory here. I'm just got to keep doing this because of the way that it's orientated. So we start off with the coloured pencils section, and you can see we've got a black page here with a white outline. And the first brand is the Arteza Expert. So it says that it includes 120 colours, and there's a matching set of watercolour pencils too. So every page seems to have something that you can colour if you want to just quickly try out a combo, or, you know, just swatch out a colour. So here we are with the Arteza Expert. So you can see that they're all in order. Started off with the yellows, the oranges and reds, and then we come down to the pinks, purples, blues and greens, greys and metallics. So this one is a really nice chart because it fills up the entire page. It just looks good. And then we've got Black Widow, and here's that problem that I encountered earlier. So definitely put a piece of scrap paper or something underneath the page that you're going on top of. Otherwise you're going to have this transferal of pigment that I had here. But, you know, it doesn't really matter too much to me. I'm not a very neat and tidy person. As you can see, the swatches are a little bit haphazard, and things like this don't really matter too much to me. But, you know, if you want to put a piece of paper under there just to prevent that happening, that's totally your prerogative. So we've got the Black Widow light tones and dark tones. We've then got the Cobra, Scorpion and Spider. Now we also have the new Black Widow set, the Monarch, which I haven't filled in yet, as you can see on the next page. Next brand is Blick Studio, which has 72 colours. So there they are on the top there. And then the Brunzil Design. And it always tells you how many there are in the pack. So it says that the Brunzil Design coloured pencils include 24 colours, and they match the Brunzil watercolour pencil pigments. We've then got the Caran d'Ache Luminance. As you can see, I've filled this one in. And the most recent releases of the Caran d'Ache Luminance are the Portrait set of 20, which have been put down here on their own. You can also put notes and colour combos around here. We've then got the Caran d'Ache Pablo, which fills up 2 pages. And then on the back there, you can see that that is the room for your notes and colour combos for the Pablo, and they come in 120 colours. Then we've got a whole page for you to colour if you wish. These are some really freaky looking fish. Then we have the Castle Arts pencils. These are in order of number. You can see we go from 1 to 120. And they only have numbers, so no names, but you can add your own if you want to. There's space next to it for you to create a name for the Castle Art pencils. We've then got the Cézanne, which I don't have, and then your colour combo sheet for that. And that's the format of the book, really. We've then got the Chameleon Colour Tones pencils, which are those chameleon pencils that have a different colour on each end of the pencil that you can blend together. So soft white and cream, lemon peel and grapefruit, papaya and kumquat, and you just put those next to each other in these boxes. We've then got Derwent Artists, which are, I think, probably one of the hardest pencils I've ever tried. I did test them once, and they're very, very hard, but really good for coloured pencil artwork. You know, those people that create these beautiful scenes, because they stay really, really sharp, and they've got a load of colours. So 120 in total. Then we have the Derwent Colour Softs, which come in 72 different colours. And the Derwent Drawing Pencils, they are available in 24 colours. And there again, you can see that we've got a little page to colour. Really cute, whimsical designs. We have the Derwent Lightfast. So these are 100 in total. And you can see it goes on to the next page there, and you can put your colour combos right aside there. Look how terrible my swatching is. These beautiful boxes that Susan has created, and I've just gone all over the edges. We've got the Derwent Pro Colours, which are on there, and you'll notice that all of the charts have different sort of sized boxes and shaped boxes for you to do, so it's not just all one same thing. We've got Derwent Studio, 72 colours in this set, plus the 12 metallics that you can see down here. And then the Faber-Castell Polychromos, absolutely beautiful oil-based pencil, and there are 120 of those altogether. Then we have the Holbein, and this title has a whole page to itself that you can colour with a crab and a coral reef. And here are the Holbeins, so we've got all of them on here, 150 colours, all in number order. So we start off with OP11 Cherry Blossom, and it ends with OP750 Luminous Green. Then we have the Kohinoor Polycolours. Now for this one, I've sort of started to fill it in and then I had to stop because I realised that I had some pencils in my collection that weren't listed on this chart, and me and Susan had a little chat about it, and it seems that there was a couple of different sets of Polycolours. There was an older set and then a brand new set that they bought out, and they changed some of the colour names. So what she's done is she's made a addendum chart that's free to download on her website. I'll leave the link in the description, and you can print that out, and that's got the old set on it, I think, so you can sort of stick that in here, and if you have the old set of Polycolours you'll still be able to chart them. We've got the Lyra Rembrandt Polycolour and the Marco Raffine, Marco Renoir and Mitsubishi Uni. Then we have the Prismacolor Premier, and as you can see, that thing happened to me again where I was pressing down and we had the colour transfer, but here's all the Prismacolor so you can see with these little circular charts here. Here we go. Then we have the Prismacolor Verithin there. And then the Sprühfarben, which have little ovals. Then the Spectrum Noir Colour Blend pencils, which come in all different types of sets. So you've got the Essential set, the Florals, the Primaries, the Shades and Tones, and the Naturals as well. We've got another page to colour here, Sun and Moon. And then we have the Tombow Erogeton, so another one that I filled in. Again, these all come in different sets. It's almost like a book. So if you've seen the Tombows before, you'll see that they come in this dictionary style setup that you can pull out what look like individual books, and they contain the pencils. So we've got actually some new colours which I wasn't aware of. Then we have Rainforest, Vivid Tone 1, Deep Tone 1, Pale Tone 2, Deep Tone 2, Light Greyish Tone 1, Fluorescent, Seascape, Very Pale Tones and Dull Tones. So there we go. The Tombow Erogeton are probably the second hardest pencil I've tried. They are quite hard. Then we have Caran d'Ache Luminance and Derwent Lightfast combo chart. Now this is really, really interesting because the Luminance and the Lightfast are obviously the two most Lightfast pencils on the market at the moment as far as I know, and putting those together in colour order so that you can see all the different Lightfast colours that you have to play with, the colours that are going to last the longest time, is a really, really fantastic idea. And this is one, probably the next one I'm going to fill in actually, because I'm super excited to see how this looks with the two brands combined. And so I can just quickly nip onto this page and just check which Lightfast colours and shades I have. So it says here, since the Luminance and Lightfast are very similar in feel, a number of colourists prefer combining these sets. So there you go. Then we have some notes on the coloured pencil section before we move into the next area, which is the pastel pencils. So we start off with the Caran d'Ache pastel pencils, which are 84 colours. You can see they're charted here in these little rectangular boxes. Then we have the Derwent pastel pencils, same again. The Faber-Castell Pitt pastel pencils and the Kohinoor Gioconda soft pastels. We have the Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils, which contain 60 colours, and then some notes there for your pastel pencils. Then we have the inks, so I did mention that a couple of inks are included here. I don't know how well they will go down on this paper or the bleed or things, you just have to give it a test and have a look. But we've got the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay ink in 24 colours and the Tim Holtz Distress inks in 62 colours. Got another black page there for you to do a little bit of testing on, and then the ink notes page. A couple of those. Then we come on to watercolour pencils. So we've got the Arteza Expert watercolour pencils, which, as we know, completely match up in name and number with their standard set of pencils. We've then got the Brunswick Design pencils, the Caran d'Ache Museum, which are 76 different colours, and they are the best watercolour pencils I've ever used by far. So if you're looking for some proper top-notch, really good standard watercolour pencils, you can't go wrong with the Museums. Then we have the Caran d'Ache Neo Colour 2s. So these again are another favourite of mine. These are those water-soluble crayons that you get, and you can make some beautiful blends with them. And here you can swatch them out. We have the Caran d'Ache Supra colours, which are 120, and they match the colours of the Pablo pencils. So there they are. Then the Derwent Graphitint, which are water-soluble graphite pencils. The Derwent Ink Tents, they come in 72. Derwent Watercolors, again in 72. And the Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer watercolour pencils come in 120 colours. And there's some watercolour pencil notes pages. A couple there for you, just in case you do get some bleed through with the water. We've got a really nice picture of a hen, and then markers. So what markers do we have? We have the Arteza Real brush pens. They're the watercolour markers, and they come in 96 different colours. Then the Copic markers. Now, what do we have here? So Copic Sketch, 358 colours, Copic Classic, 214, Copic Chow, 180, and Copic Wide, 36. And then she's also included all of the different sort of features of each one of those Copic markers, what kind of nib they have, what kind of barrel. So this is all done in the Copic colour system. You can see we've got the letters of the kind of colour that it is. So the BV family are the blue violets, and then you go from zeros to the highest number to see what is the palest up to the darkest. So we've got BV 000. You know when it's a 000, it's going to be a very, very, very light tint of colour, and you know the higher the number goes up at the end, how much darker it's going to be. So we have the reds, the yellows, the yellow greens, and so on. I'll just flick through here, and all of these have black backs. Then we have the Faber-Castell Pitt pens. These come in 60 colours. The Spectrum Noir Illustrators, which come in 216 colours. And they also match up in colour with the Spectrum Noir graphic markers. We then have the Tombow Dual Brush pens. That's those here, those double-sided watercolour pens. And they consist of 108 colours and include 12 new colours. So I have, I think, the set of 96. I don't have the new 12. So I need to have a look into that. They are fantastic pens with beautiful brush nib. So there are the new colours. Then we've got some lemurs for you to colour, and some notes on markers. Then the blank colour charts, which are done by colour. So you've got all of your reds on this page. So you might have a Derwent Lightfast red, and then you might have a Holbein red, and then you might have a Polychromos red or a Castle Arts red, and you can put them all on this page. So it keeps all of the colour families together, and some people do prefer to chart in that way. We've got oranges and yellows, greens and blues, violets and browns, and then greys, blacks and whites. And the whites bit is done on a black background. So, you know, the way that this book has been put together, it's definitely had a lot of time and effort and thought put into it. You can tell by the little captions that are telling you about new sets coming out and old sets being phased out. And you can tell that Susan has really, really done her research and put her heart into this. So we've got the blank charts at the end now, and I can explain finally what they look like and what they mean. So here you can see that we have a chart of 1 to 48. It's completely blank for you to write your brand of pencils in and your numbers, names, whatever. We have this one that goes from 1 to 216, so it continues on to the next 2 pages. And I've used this to label my Beryl Charisma colours. I have, I'm not sure how many I have, but there's 129 in total, and you can see the ones that I'm missing. These are the pencils that have been discontinued in 2005. I believe, and they look like this. They have chamfered ends like that, and they're absolutely beautiful. They are the OG Prismacolors. They're so much better quality, and they're just beautiful to use. So I'm always on the lookout for the ones that I'm missing. I am desperate to get my collection to the full 129. So if you see any out there that you can spot that I haven't got, please do let me know. So yeah, you can see the ones that I'm looking for and the ones that I have. And I brought this onto the next page, as you can see. Then we have a chart here that goes from 1 to 60 with large rectangles, and then a chart here from 1 to 48 with smaller boxes. This chart has room for 72 swatches, and so does this one. Then we have a black page here that you can chart 54 different colours on each page. And again, another couple of 54 ones. Then we've got 1 to 216 again, so the same one that I used for my charismas. Then we have 1 to 60 and 1 to 48. 72 swatches on this page. And again, another 216 and 72. There's so much room. I doubt that you'll have any problem putting all of your different materials into this, no matter how many different brands you have. So here we've got 1 to 86 and then 1 to 86 again on the next page. And this one is 1 to 48. Then we have these larger swatches, which has room for 50 on each page. A couple of those. And then on black as well. We've got a 1 to 60, 1 to 48. There's so many. I could just go through, and I think you get the idea by now. But yeah, there's tons. So when you get to the end, you have another little page to colour. And then on the back, some additional books by RubyCharmColors. So you can go onto her Amazon page. She also has Instagram, Pinterest and Facebook, and also the Etsy shop for RubyCharmColors as well. So yeah, I think you'll agree after seeing that you're not going to need any kind of other swatch book in your life after you have this one. It really is the big book of colour charts, and everything has been put into this. Susan has really researched different brands, the different colours that have appeared within those brands and disappeared over the years, as I explained earlier. And, you know, just the way that she set up the charts, putting those colour combo ones together and things like that, it's really, really, really helpful. So I did mention at the start of this that I do have a copy for somebody to win. And if you would like to be in with a chance of winning your copy, all you have to do is make sure that you are subscribed to the Colour with Claire YouTube channel. That's the first step. And then the second step is to leave me a comment below telling me what you think of the book. Really, really easy. It's open worldwide, so anybody can enter. And I'll give it a week. I normally give it a week. So what are we today? The 12th of November. Let's give it to the 19th then. And if you'd like to buy this book, the Amazon links are in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and a big thank you to Susan Carlson, aka RubyCharmColors, for first of all sending me one to review and one to give away, and secondly for creating such a brilliant swatch book for us all. It's all encompassing, and as I've said plenty of times, I don't think we're going to need anything else to swatch our materials now. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon on Colour with Claire.